Loss comes in many forms, and usually in unexpected ways. It can be devastating, leaving you facing an uphill struggle to go on with life without someone you thought would always be there. But life does go on, and even in the deepest despair, we can find hope. Welcome to Grief Relief with your hosts, Drs. Gloria and Heidi Horsley, brought to you by the Open to Hope Foundation, helping people find hope after loss. And now here's Dr. Gloria and Dr. Heidi.
Welcome to Grief Relief. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Horsley, with my co-host and daughter,
Dr. Heidi Horsley.
How great of you to come today and talk about helping people get some healthy meals after grief and loss.
Well, it's really important to nourish yourself and for caregivers to help nourish their loved ones when they're grieving. And so we're going to do 3 really simple recipes that are delicious and nourishing and super convenient. So let's start with this. This is called curried quinoa salad. And what I love about this is, although I'm using quinoa,
my granddaughter loves quinoa, Eliza.
Oh. It's super nourishing. It's really high in protein.
Yeah.
But you could use any grain. You could use couscous or brown rice or whatever you happen to have on hand. And I'm going to add to this some, this is just a peeled tangerine. I already have some in there. So you're going to cut open a tangerine and then just pull the little sections apart and add it to your grains.
Yummy.
That looks good.
This is very seasonal too. And then we've got some toasted almonds. Those are going to go in.
Oh.
And some dried cranberries. And then I'm just going to season it with half a teaspoon of curry powder. You can use any kind of curry powder. I've got some white wine vinegar and olive oil.
That sounds great.
Just for some moisture, and then just a pinch of salt. And that's it. You know, it couldn't be easier. You just toss it together. And it's really pretty, really colorful. You could, certainly play with the ingredients. And then I'm going to let you guys taste it.
Oh, good.
I was hoping you'd say that.
And what's nice about this is that it keeps really well. So you could make it, say, for lunch one day and have it for dinner the next day. It would certainly, serve for a couple of meals. And it's also a nice thing to bring to somebody. You could stick it in a Tupperware and be good to go.
Oh, yeah.
Want to try?
Yes.
I'll give you.
That looks amazing.
And while you nibble on that, I'm going to move on to the next.
Okay.
So I really like to make homemade granola bars.
I love granola bars.
Yes, there's lots of options store-bought, but there's just nothing like homemade. And again, this is something that you could make yourself, or maybe someone could bring for you. And it's a nice option to having something like a cookie. And basically all it is oats, some crispy brown rice cereal, and flax meal, mixed with peanut butter and brown rice syrup and some maple syrup.
Wow.
And you could use almond butter or sunflower butter. You really could use any nut or seed
I
butter.
love this because you can stick it in your pocket and you can stick it in your purse to go.
Yeah. Sometimes convenience is everything. Just something,
Especially
that you can
when
grab
you're
and
grieving.
go. Yeah.
Because I think when you're grieving, we tend to go towards comfort food.
Yeah.
Grab a Snickers bar and grab, real high calorie things.
I think that's really true. And having something on hand means you're probably not going to reach for that. And the thing is, when you're in that time of stress, you really need to nourish yourself all the more. So basically, you press the dough into a pan, you bake it, and it comes out into this beautiful brown.
That's beautiful. That's great.
And then I just cut it into bars. And what I love about this is that, as you said, it's really portable. And what I often will do is I'll make a double batch. I'll cut them all up, and then I'll take a little piece of parchment and wrap them like a little, like this.
I love that.
Oh, how sweet. Yeah.
And then stick them in the freezer. And just by the
you
time,
got them right there. Like you said, you can just throw it in your purse on the way out the door.
And Katie was saying something before the show. She said, when we're grieving, we either eat a lot of comfort food or we don't eat. And sometimes all of a sudden you'll feel faint and sick, and just to have this.
Yeah, this is, really nutrient dense. You've got the nut butter and the oats and all that good stuff.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, yeah.
You guys can share.
Yes, I do.
So, and then the last thing I wanted to show you is how to turn a really humble pot of beans into meals. There's really nothing more economical easy to make, and really healthy. And so these are some pinto beans that I made in my slow cooker. You just put a pound in your slow cooker, add 7 cups of water, and let it go.
Wow.
And then you can turn that into snacks, you know, add a fried egg and it's breakfast. Or what I like to do is make really simple tostadas. So this is lunch for me, probably twice a week. So normally I would take a corn tortilla and crisp it in a pan. And then to that, you know, I might usually actually start with some vegetables. So if you have leftover sweet potato or broccoli, or I'm using some fresh spinach, you can start with a little base of that. And then I'm going to
I love the protein.
Yeah, layer on the beans, and you can use any kind of beans. I'm using pinto, but you can use black beans, or and then a little bit of mixture of cheese, and then finish it off with some nice salsa. And then you have this little, you know, beautiful little lunch or dinner that took no time to make. And again, the thing with the beans is you can freeze them. So make a big pot and then put them in freezer containers and throw them in, and then grab and go. So again, all really easy
I love
to
this.
do.
And I've got to just say, this is fabulous.
Yeah.
It's as good as a candy bar, okay? Without the guilt.
Thank you.
And also, what I'm thinking about, Katie, is that you could make that up for a friend who's lost a family member. I mean, that would be such an unusual thing to bring over, and wrapped up in those little things.
And it lasts for a long time, because you think of casseroles. I mean,
it will last a long
don't
time.
last that long.
And I think, you know, people want to bake. You know, there's something really loving about baking, but bringing someone something nourishing like a granola bar as opposed to a cake or cookies makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I love that you don't have to eat it right away, because I know when we've had losses, that people bring a lot of casseroles and a lot of things, and they get pretty stale after a while. But something like this, you could pull out of your freezer anytime. Yeah, and I love those. Now, talk a little bit about some of the things in your cookbook.
So this is a lunchbox book. It's really, I sort of designed it mostly for kids, but I'm finding that adults are really drawn to it as well. And what's really nice about it is that all the recipes are really simple, and they're all really nourishing. And there's a lot of recipes in there that really make use of leftovers. So if you roast a chicken, ways you can turn that into soup or salads or things like that.
Yeah, and I love that you actually had a little lunchbox things for the kids that are really interesting.
Yeah,
I like that too.
There's, I mean, the explosion of that whole category, the whole lunch packing category.
Now, how can people get a hold of your book and where's your website? And you're going to have some of these recipes on your website and in your book.
Yeah. All the recipes are either in the book or on my site. My website's called momskitchenhandbook.com.
I like that.
And there's links for information about the book, and you can certainly find it in local bookstores, on Amazon, and that sort of thing.
Well, thank you so much for being on the
Thank you
show
for
today
having me.
and
It's
for
been
the good
wonderful.
things.
Katie, I will
Thank
definitely
you.
be getting this with my kids.
Oh, good.
And thanks for watching our show today.
Thank you.